No music? Wow.
I think I'm a special one.
I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Incredible stuff.
There's your fairy tale.
Here we go.
Welcome to Rivals on the Pitch versus the Gorilla. We are your two survivalists. Sadly, Pat couldn't make it. He slipped on the banana peel while running away from the gorilla. But it's me and Alan today, Spurs and Liverpool, holding it down. But we haven't, I don't even know what to say. It's episode match week 37. Basically, what are we going to talk about? The season's over. But we'll find stuff to talk about. But I'm Randy, and I'm here with...
My name's Alan, if you don't know.
Well, you don't have to know. Don't worry about it. Unless he wins the Europa League final, then you might know him.
Woohoo!
Asterisk on that. But
Waka waka eh eh.
yeah. So we're the
17th,
last
not
surviving
gonna know
members
how.
of the
Spurs
100
are
men who
going
face
to
the
Bilbao.
Gorillas. But whatever. Someone's got to hold the fort down. Might as well be us.
Yep. Pat was nominated to go number one, and the
That's
gorilla
happens when
ripped
you're
it.
an Arsenal supporter. We'll send you first.
Arteta gave him a inspirational speech, and he went out there and got beat up. Same old.
The light bulb speech.
All right. Match week 36 just passed. Next week is match week 37. And the grand finale, match week 38, concluding the 2024-2025 season. And I cannot wait. Man,
Yeah, you and everyone else.
jeez, I feel like this season is just not like as a whole hasn't been a good one. It just Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur season is one to forget, you know. So I'm
Does
actually kind of
does that season kind of make you want to like rethink it? Like, fuck, I'll choose Brentford instead. I'll be Brighton. Fuck it. Why
no.
Spurs?
This is what builds you. You have to. It's yin and yang. You know, it's the rainy days.
Which one is bad? More yin than yang, I guess.
But you don't know great until you know bad. You know, or whatever the saying is. The worse you know, the greater you feel. I don't know what the heck all that means. But if we win a trophy, it's just gonna feel that much better. You know, well, it could feel better. You know, but it's a bit of a consolation prize. You know, I won't say consolation prize. It's a big achievement that will make this season, you know, what people want to say Spursy. Like this could be what Spursy means. You know, we can be
have a shit league season, but win a trophy somewhere.
Win a trophy and a trophy with some history, a good trophy. It's not. Where would you all right, for you, Europa League, where would you rank that with Champions, the Premier League, FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and Europa, and then Conference?
I mean,
how would you rank them?
I honestly would think with Champions League will be first, Premier League, and then Europa League, because it's technically still in Europe, and there's still tough competition, and as we've seen, some good teams do go to Europa League. So I would count that higher above FA Cup, Carabao Cup for sure, and even the Community Shield. I would probably rank it in the top 3 if it was out of all those.
Top 3. So it's got some reputation to it, huh? Some value. And
it does
that's
have
what
some
feels
value.
Good. You know, if we could walk away the season with that trophy, because I think the same thing. I think it's depending on what team you are, it's either going to be Champions League and then Premier League, or Premier League and then Champions League. But those two definitely top 2. And then you can argue that the Europa and the FA could be kind of on par, but Europa, I feel like you
Just
have the
because it's
best,
Europe in general,
yeah,
yes, I
yeah,
think that
more
has that slight
that
advantage over.
European feel. You play those. It's just a different ballpark, I think. But so I'm happy about that. If I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if when we beat United, if I'm sorry, just gotta get used to it.
I mean, it's hard because I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer, but yeah, Spurs. You always think of Spursy, and it's just
No,
that would be like the perfect thing for them to do in a final against a Manchester United team who is just one place above you in the league. It's sort of
I
it's
don't
not
want. I
like,
was.
oh, it's Manchester United who's in the top 3 or the top 6. It's Manchester United who's in the bottom half. But at the end of
I
the
don't want. I
day,
was listening to last week's episode, and uh, no, I'm still believing the argument I was putting up. You guys were giving me all the reasons why United would lose against anyone else, but also when you put Spurs in the equation, now it's like, whoa, Man United, they have the badge and they have this, but you want to say, oh well, they're used to winning, not that squad, but
but the thing
we'll
is,
see.
look at it. You've
I'm not looking at it.
Spurs have beaten Man United
Put it away.
this whole year, right? Basically this whole season, every game.
Yeah.
I think they've had their number.
Yeah,
But it's just typical Spursy fashion to you have their number, and to lose it in the most important game. I just feel like that's what one can expect from them, honestly. Yes, and of course they could win. They could do the clean
there
clean
we
sheet,
go.
clean slate.
Sweep.
But it's just you're sort of used to it. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay the last final you were against was against
but
Liverpool, and
tell me,
but this is anything could happen in this one based on the position you are in the league.
yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, the morale of the Premier League plus reaching the Europa League final. It's like a mix, good and bad. It's like what level are you on? Are you on the bad side or on the good side? What's your morale going into
when you
this?
come to picking a team that's going to win this, tell me that all your decision, not the whole percent of this decision, but a majority of the reasoning why is because of these unattaintables. I can't say the word, but
Yeah,
basically
I understand.
the badge versus the Tottenham history. That's you're taking these two like ideas and not facts. They're just ideas, and you're not looking at the players. Tell me that that's not a big part in decision making, because that's everybody's decision making as of right now. What I'm seeing.
The thing is,
on
yeah, you
social
look
media.
at facts. You look at facts. Oh yeah, blah blah blah. Facts.
Because we have a
facts,
chance if you look at the facts.
And everyone, I don't give a facts are just numbers. Anything could happen on that game day. It's like, look
This
at
is what I'm saying.
Manchester United. It's like at home. What's it called? They never lost to Brentford and all these other teams, and what's it called? Anfield's a fortress, and we lost to Nottingham Forest. We had a good result. Stats don't mean anything. Yes, they're great to lean on, and you hope that carries over. But at the end of the day, facts don't mean anything when you're on the field. You can have a good day, and you can have a bad day.
No, then what you're telling me is that the idea of Man City being Man City means something. And then the idea of Spurs being Spursy.
What do you mean Man City? You mean Man U?
Or Man United, yeah. Because then that's the only factors you're taking into consideration when you're deciding who you're going to root for, or not root for, but who do you think is going to win?
I can't say who I'm going to root for, because if I say it, you're gonna buy me a jersey.
I can hear it.
Yeah, course.
Honestly,
no, but honestly,
there you go.
I
Waka waka. Hey. Listen,
Pat, edit this when you get a chance. But I do honestly think Manchester United has a worse season than you guys had. You had injuries and everything, and if you didn't have that, I think you would be in a better position.
Yeah.
Yes, you play better in Europa League than you did in the Premier League. I mean, the same thing has been said with Manchester United. But at the end of the day, I mean, it sucks. You have Kulusevski is out.
He got subbed
for
out.
now.
Yeah, I think
And
he's good, but I
Madison is
think
out as well, right? But you still have plenty of time before
Madison is
the
out
final.
for Madison's out for sure. He probably won't even be here for the
And
start
he's
of the
been on
season.
point. And he's been coming in clutch these past games. And I think the only person I can think of that who's been good on Manchester United is Bruno. That's it. And maybe if you get
don't talk about
Harry Maguireini, whatever.
Yeah,
But that's it. I think if you have Dominic Solanke against Onana, I think Solanke got his number. But Cario, I think he's a much better goalkeeper than Onana. Your defense, maybe it has a slight edge against Manchester United. I'm not really a big fan of Hoyland. I don't think he's going to do anything, or Xerxes, or any of those top three that are up there, or Garnacho. I think you have a better attacking three. Yes, on paper, I feel like you might have an edge, but come to the day of the game, we will see who performs. Of course,
yeah,
Manchester
and
United
obviously,
has been there more times than you have in a final in important games.
right,
So
and
maybe that might come into an effect
but
into play, but we'll see.
See, that's the thing, though. Everybody on social media and everybody who puts in their opinion, and I get it. If you honestly think United is going to win for certain reasons, good, got it. But a lot of it is just that. Well, Man United just has a history of winning. Okay, like if that's it, then I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you know what, you're right. Throw in the towel. I truly believe we have a chance. And a few weeks
No, I
ago,
agree with you. I do believe you have a chance.
I did say I didn't want to meet United in the final because we already beat them 3 times. We beat them twice in the league, and we beat them in the FA Cup. So I was like, it's gonna be that we beat them that 4th time, and it's just gonna not go our way, But after seeing our performances and their performance in Europe, and even our performances, both our shitty performances in the Premier League, I think there's more to it than just saying, hey, this is the history of Man United. They're going to beat you guys. And like I said, you can make arguments for what team will win, but if you're just going to sit there and tell, not you, but other people, say, hey, well, it's United, so game's over. We got this. Because that's a lot of what I'm seeing and reading is that, yeah, United is going to take this home. Like, there's no chance. Spurs
But
have no chance,
the thing too is you mentioned is that's the history of Manchester United, but that was the history of Manchester United under Fergie.
That's what I'm saying.
That
Exactly.
is a different point. That then after that, those plus years that he's been gone, that history is forgotten. That is history now. That is long gone, because the history you have now, present day, is not good compared to what he had with Pochettino, Conte. You've still had, I think, a better edge, better numbers, statistics than Manchester United, and we'll see. Like I said, that history thing, I think, can go out the window. But
how long have they been sitting outside the top 4, top 6? That one year with Ronaldo, they managed top 3, but they've been struggling for a while. But I really hope we get this. We'll probably get into more Man United stuff here in a bit, and I'm not trying to beat them up as a team. I just think there's a lot of what frustrates me is you try to talk to some people about this match, and it's automatically, well, it's the history, and then you look at the sheets and the stats and how you were just going player to player. Like, there isn't a reason why we don't have a chance to. Not saying we have a favorite. I'm not saying we're favorites, but people kind of completely discount Tottenham in this match.
But that's the thing about this game. There's so many times, like an example again, I'll throw Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. History. What have we done compared to what Nottingham Forest done? Anfield is a fortress. And what happened? History was thrown out the window. Nottingham Forest beat us 1-0. At that point, history doesn't matter. That's the thing about this game. Anything can happen.
Yep.
The best team can end up losing to the worst team, the relegated team. anything can happen in this game. Like
Yeah,
how many
yeah.
times like you have like 90% 90% possession, and the team, and you have like 20 shots on target, all this stuff, and then the one team has 10% possession, one shot on target, and that one shot is the
It's a
goal,
goal.
and that is
Yeah.
the difference maker, and that's it. That's the thing about this game. Anything can happen. Stats don't mean
Yeah.
jack shit in a way, but anything can happen, and I think it will be an interesting game. It's an all English final. I think both of these teams need that trophy, so it's going to be a good game. It could be a goal fest, or it could just be like a 1-0 game. Regardless, it's going to be a good game because they both need this trophy to save their season.
The season. That's what makes it. It's one of those where
Yeah.
it's more important to not lose than it is to win, if that makes sense. Like, you want to win it, but the fear of losing this is it's a grand, like, it's just gonna pretty much seal the season, as the worst season, as I don't know how to explain it, but it's gonna have some bad effects which for whoever team loses. So I'm glad we're in a final, but the job's not done,
Yeah, I mean, you said it's going to be a bad season. It's going to be a worse season for Ange because of his promise and the way it's gone, compared to Manchester United, who has a coach who just came in half the season.
No, they don't want to
So
lose.
it-
Trust me. No, trust me.
No,
They
but
do
but
not
still,
want
it's
to lose
just
to us.
no. Of course, no one wants to lose, but the guy's like, I only been here half a season, so regardless, compared to the
No.
guy,
I'm telling
but
you, the
still-
fans, coming from
No.
the fans, they say that they do not want to, like, this will be the worst thing that's ever happened to their life if they lose. Like, that's how bad they don't want to lose to Tottenham.
And that's compared to Liverpool tying them with 20 Premier League titles right there.
Yeah.
To be Europa League, which isn't even, I'm not trying to downplay Manchester the competition, but Manchester United, who's won Champions League, Premier League titles, to be saying that a Europa League final is going to be like the worst thing because it's against the Spurs.
Yeah.
That just shows how
What's
low
his
their
name?
expectations have gone.
I don't know if you know that guy Goldberg, the guy with the glasses, big Man United, social media dude. Well,
Goldberg.
he
I'm
was
just
one
thinking
of
of
them.
the WWE wrestler.
No. I'll send you the video of him. But should we get into some of these games?
Yeah, let's do it. I
wait,
think
whoa, pump the brakes. I was gonna say enough Euro talk, but
for now,
Pat, please let us know, how did you feel about that PSG Arsenal game?
I want to say
Where'd...
I think the Saka's afraid of open nets.
Where's the crickets?
But there we go. He's luckily Pat slept on a banana peel against the gorilla, so he's not here to hear this, but he'll let us know later on.
Well, yeah, I can't find it. Well, yeah. Arsenal have been eliminated by PSG. It was a good game. Donnarumma kept them in the game. I don't know if what was I gonna say? I don't know how hopeful. I think Arsenal fans are super hopeful. I think they really thought they were gonna win this. I'm not gonna say anything bad.
I just want to say something. I wish Pat was here though, because you saw the press conference against with Arteta, how he said even the PSG bench said that Arsenal were the better team and all that stuff. And then Luis Enrique said, I respect Arteta. He's a friend of mine, but no way that was said. The better team won, and that's the facts. How he said that how he thought Arsenal were the better team in the Champions League. I mean, each to their own. I understand he's defending his team, his players, but I just feel that arrogance.
Yeah.
He
Very
hasn't won
arrogant.
anything. He hasn't won anything to be arrogant about. So I don't know where he comes with that arrogance, but
I mean, they got to the semifinal. Honestly, I think, no offense to Barcelona fans, but their journey up to the semifinals, I don't think was the toughest either. So I don't think if different teams were playing each other, we might be seeing a different final. I will say that. I'm not here to compliment Arsenal, but I'm also not gonna completely, diminish what they've done in the Champions League. But
no, I give them respect.
now I
I
can
give them their
watch it as a
props.
neutral.
Yeah, but I think just PSG overall dominated the English teams.
They had a rough start. I feel like
exactly.
and
They
then
had
they
a rough
just
start,
clicked.
but they pulled it out.
And you know what? I really hope. I know we're kind of getting away from the Premier League, but I really hope PSG win. Or yeah, I actually do.
Just for the fact because
with
they had
Mbappe.
Neymar, Mbappe, and Messi, and they couldn't win it.
Yep.
So
and
win
now
it
here
with.
they are.
I would like that as well, but then all
Like
that talk about the Farmers League and everything like that, it was just like,
yeah.
oh.
But they completely changed the way they did business. They completely changed the way, what players they were targeting, how they were spending their money, and they went to a more, let's get away from buying like the flashiest players and let's play
superstars.
Let's put players together that mesh together and look at the season that they're having, and we'll see how you're gonna watch. Are you rooting for PSG or Inter Milan?
It's a tough one, honestly, man. I'm Roma, but I think what Inter has done in Serie A and in the Champions League has been phenomenal. But I think I'm sort of rooting for PSG just because of the fact that they had Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, and they couldn't do it, and to win it with this team of no one of a lot of. I mean, yeah, people know. I mean, like true soccer fans would probably appreciate this PSG over the fakes who just follow because of Neymar and Mbappe and Messi.
Exactly.
This PSG who has done it with a bunch of no names with great goalkeeping.
I won't say no names, but
I mean, but not names familiar to the masses, social media following and stuff like that.
Yeah,
a lot of people aren't gonna know. Yeah,
I can't even pronounce that one guy's name. The guy from,
the Georgian guy,
yeah,
who came from Napoli.
Yeah. There's Desiree Diore, Mbappe, or not Mbappe, and
Dembele, yeah.
Hakim,
Who was an injury prone, he was from Barcelona to come to PSG. Just, I think that would be, and because it would be almost like rubbing salt in the wounds. You call this a farmer league because PSG always wins this the Liga. The league. Now look at what we've done without Messi, without Mbappe, without Neymar. We've done it as a team instead of relying on one person. I think that would be a great story for them.
I'm just glad I can watch the final as a neutral. Enjoy the sport.
Yeah, because if Arsenal was in the final, oh my god, those fans would be unbearable.
Oh yeah. So and if they would have won it, oh gosh.
Oh, I would have left the rivals on the pitch.
You're right. Let's get into match week 36.
Yeah, we're off topic. Let's get back on track.
Half an hour into it, and we haven't even talked anything Premier League. All right. Any games you want to hit up? What was the highlight game of the week?
Newcastle and Chelsea.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, we can do that, and then I think we should go into, of course, Arsenal and Liverpool, and then of course I think the teams that are going into the finals of the Europa League as well, Spurs and Man United.
Do it real quick. Newcastle hosting Chelsea. Newcastle 2, Chelsea 0. Let's see what this does to the table.
Gives Newcastle a chance to claim second place, which we thought was safe with Arsenal,
So,
but
yep, Newcastle moved with 66 points. They moved to third place, threatening to take that second spot. So as of right now, they are in Champions League position. Chelsea right there at the fifth spot, tied with Aston Villa. So depending on what goes on, we do Tottenham do face Villa on Friday. So Villa have a good chance of beating us because they're probably going to play our academy players. So they probably have an opportunity to leapfrog Chelsea and bump them down to the Europa League. So we'll see what happens with that. So Sandro Tonali opening up the books with scoring at the second minute, and then Bruno Guimaraes on the 90th minute. Randy, do you think Newcastle, with their new modern logo, new modernized stadium, are all these players coming back next season?
I honestly think so. I remember everyone was talking about Isaac being up for sale, but the way they're playing and what they've won, they won the trophy against Liverpool. They're in Champions League. If they end up in the season in second place or third place, regardless, I think that is more keeping power for those players. And
Yeah,
if you want to pay for them, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to break the bank. And I just think this Newcastle, seeing how this season ends, they're gonna stay and they're gonna add the necessary players they need to make a deeper Champions League push. And if they end up second or third, to make a title push for next year. I don't think anyone's leaving, honestly. I think they're going to
yeah.
bring in players.
I don't think anyone's leaving either. I think the fact that they're I think they're going to secure Champions League position, and if they finish second, how much is? I feel like if you finish first, it's like
Oh,
like
yeah,
70
I saw that.
million. So if they finish
I
second,
know what you're
now
talking
their
about.
finances, are starting to look a lot better. They don't have to sell, and like you said, they'll probably start bringing in players and then kind of solidify their position on top of the table, for years to come with more Champions League competitions. And I don't think they can do that if they start selling players. The talent that brought them to this position. I think they have to build off of that and continue with that momentum. And then why would you want to leave? Unless you don't like the Newcastle location and the town. But why
And the
would you want to
jerseys,
leave?
but yeah,
Right?
honestly,
But
I think you would stay basing on this how the season ends. I think there's no reason to leave.
because some
If
of these
maybe if you
players,
would have reached, if you would have got, if you wouldn't have, I mean, what position were they in before? They were like sixth, seventh. We didn't think
that's
they were
what we
going to
were
make
having our
it.
conversation.
And yeah, and now to be in third, and could be second place at the end of the season, I think that's just more grizz. Like, you know what? Look at what we did this year. Next
Yep,
year,
this is our team.
we can do. Yeah, this is our team. Well, we just need a couple more pieces, and guess what? We can be where Arsenal is at right now, in second place. We can
Yeah, I
be
think
much closer.
we had a lot of those conversations on them selling when they were, teetering between that, sixth, seventh, fifth place, which I don't think to their standards are going to be good enough to keep some of these players. But now you're, second Champions League, Isaac can pretty much make this his team, and sometimes that is important. You get, you become a club legend that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he goes on and does great things somewhere else, sure, he'll have his fame. But if he does it and stays here and does that, brings a trophy to more trophy silverware to this team, then he'll become a club legend, Premier League legend, all that. I think it's see how it is one more year and don't rush out of this team just yet.
Yeah,
So
and the thing you mentioned to that is their familiarity. These guys have been playing with each other for like a couple years now. You know where to run. You know where to do that pass. You're
yeah,
familiar with these people. So you can do it with your eyes closed. If you go to another team, you're going to have to start from scratch. Maybe you might get that chemistry instantly, but with Newcastle, I think you guys have gelled so well that you know where to be. You know where to throw that pass. I just think this is something you wouldn't want to break up, honestly. And this is to
Yeah,
throw into. They made a nice push without Eddie Howe for just for those who
that's
don't
true.
know, with the interim coach, he's done well, and I mean this is good. Usually when you're under an interim coach for a time being, things might go south or north, but they have made this nice last minute push, and I'm Newcastle's going to be a team to fear next year. Take that.
Yeah, especially with that reputation they have out playing at home.
Yeah.
Speaking of home matches, Southampton at St. Mary's Stadium hosting Man City for a 0-0 draw. Southampton, congratulations. You do not have the worst Premier League season. You have now earned 12 points, beating
Not beat.
Derby
Yeah.
City. So congrats on that. So,
But
you
I mean,
know,
I saw the
12 points. I
quotes
don't know who you
that are
play
like
next, but we'll
I
see.
saw the quote that were saying like Southampton didn't even came to play to win. Let's be honest. Winning is not going to do anything for them at this point. They're done. They're relegated. All they're doing is trying to get
I
at
mean,
least a
it's just
point.
pride, At this point, it's just
Yeah.
pride.
You just don't want to
Yeah.
lose. And you don't want to have to be the co-partner of the worst record. So hats off to them. They were able to hold off a Manchester City team. Congrats, man. Getting that draw.
It's something, yeah,
Doing
and you
what you
give
gotta do.
something to the fans, to the home,
Yeah.
especially at home, yeah. Hmm. All right. Let's see. What are the games? Oh, Bournemouth hosting Aston Villa. This was going to be a good game. Scoreline kind of shows how close of a game it was. Bournemouth 0, Aston Villa 1 with Ollie Watkins in extra time on the second half or the first half. Let's see. So that means Villa sits sixth. They have 63 points and they sit right behind Chelsea. So, like I said, Villa play us next. They're probably going to be playing a shitty Tottenham squad, academy players. We're not going to risk anybody. You might see Van der Ven, Romero out there for a few minutes just to kind of have some game time practice. But honestly, I think Chelsea should be a little worried because I can see Villa definitely coming out with the win, putting Chelsea out of the Champions League. So, and then speaking of European positions, Nottingham Forest falling into 7th place, fall from grace. We always kind of talked about when they will kind of start to float down the table, and it's super late, which is kind of
The worst time to do it.
sad to see. Yeah, because it's I mean, I guess it kind of just shows that fatigue and all that finally started catching up. They were one of the few teams that weren't playing European competitions, so they had a lot of fresh legs out there. But now the season is starting to catch up to them, and they have slid into the 7th position. Did you see the manager
Yeah.
coming onto the pitch? What do you think about that?
Say this is where the top teams who've been there, done that before, they always make those last minute pushes. And that's what you can see done with Newcastle, Manchester City, Chelsea, which I honestly thought caught Forest by surprise because I thought they were gonna be in Europe next year. But yeah, that is not a good look from the owner of
Well,
Forest to do that.
I think they did clinch. I'm sorry. I think they did clinch conference, right? Because Brentford's at 55. If they win their next 2 games, that's
Yeah,
6
but you
points.
had
They
Champions
still,
League, then Europa League, and then to drop down to
yeah, that's
conference,
true.
you've dropped down like 2 divisions. I mean, it's still not over. They can still clinch it, but you got 2 games left to do it. But you also have to rely on everyone out on the other teams above
Yeah.
you. But I just think what the owner of Nottingham Forest did, I think that is something you do behind the scenes, not when all eyes are on you. It's just a bad look. But then I think Nuno Espirito Santo even said during his press conference, because he was asked about it, of course. He was like, it was just misunderstanding because I believe there was an injury, and then they ran out of substitutions to replace the
Yeah, it
injured
was
player. So it was a little bit of concern.
yeah.
But I think there was more between that. I think he's just protecting his owner because he's the one who cashes his check. He's the one who can fire
It's
him
just
on the spot. But it was just a bad look, in my part. What do you think?
yeah, the ownership, the owner being on the field. It's it shows a little bit of passion. You can take it both ways, and I can understand both sides of the story. Where you look at a passionate owner who's on the field, who wants to be engaged, who really wants this as much as the fans in the stadium, and you can admire that. But at the same time, like you said, it's something that could be done in the locker room. It's something that can be done sideline, away from the cameras, or even if you are in cameras view, at least be behind people. Bring him to the side and but you're kind of trying to. It looks like he's trying to humiliate him or belittle him on the field. And come on, like you were riding second, third for the whole season. You got to give Nuno some credit. But what you're doing there is now kind of completely like disregarding, the last 36, 35, 34 weeks. But
I mean, yeah,
hey,
you
buddy.
exactly. Where were you last season? Above relegation, and to be in seventh. I mean, like you said, being in second or third for the longest time, and then to be in seventh, I think that's still a huge accomplishment compared to last season, where you were one place
Right.
above
But like you
relegation.
said,
But still,
but like I said, maybe every fan in that stadium didn't want to lose, and neither did he. So you gotta some of it. You kind of like okay, like I like that spirit, Like some owners don't even show up to games. Some owners are nowhere to be seen, but right time, there's a time and place for everything. I think
exactly.
that just wasn't it. But yeah, so I think Forest. They play West Ham next, and then their last game is against Chelsea. So it's gonna be a tough one. Chelsea also there trying to battle for Champions League football. If not, then Chelsea might end up back in the Conference League. That's something we might see.
Yeah,
We'll
and I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan and Chelsea organization, that is nowhere, not a place you have to be. You got to be in the
Nope.
top competitions.
Yeah.
Even Europa League is a stretch, but you should be in Champions League
Yeah,
with
and
your
I mean
reputation.
with the amount of money that's been put in that squad, you kind of want to see that being paid back. But it's gonna be interesting. 2 more games. I think this kind of gives the season a little bit more liveliness. There's something to watch for because you're gonna see, waiting to see who takes these last how
Last Europa
the league,
spots, yeah, last Europa
these last
spots, man, and
spots.
it's much watched television that day.
Yeah.
Everyone's playing at the exact same time. I don't know. You gotta have like the Matrix screens going on. Every game going on at the same time just to watch it because every game matters at this point for Champions League spots. Relegation's already secured, but it's just going to be very important for those teams battling for the last Champions League spots.
Yep. And then we'll have one more Champions League team joining the rest of the English teams, after the
Europa
Spurs
League final?
United game. But
The question is who?
yeah, we'll see. But Liverpool, let's get into Liverpool hosting Arsenal at Anfield. After the Guard of Honor being presented to Liverpool, how'd it go?
Well, let Pat. I want to hear your take. Oh, I'm sorry, he's not here. Well, I'll do the honors.
There you go.
Yeah. Pat edit that. But honestly, I think it was a story of two halves, honestly. First half was all Liverpool. As you can see by the score line, there was 2 goals in the first half, 2 goals in the first in 1 minute in a 1 minute span, and then second half was all Arsenal. Um, like I said, at this point we have nothing to play for. Maybe it's just try to get Mo Salah his assist or goal so he can break the record.
Stat stacking.
Stat padding. Give players rest, give players minutes and stuff like that. For us, it's no. It's just a reg. It's not an important game. Of course, it's against Arsenal, a rival, but there's no consequences. There's nothing to gain from this game. Arsenal, on the other hand, I think they need this game because they could be in risk of getting out of Champions League if everyone wins and they keep losing because they've been on a slump these past games. So I think it was more for them, and I think it's for them to try to show up. Like, yeah, you're the champion, but we want to beat you and want to challenge you next year to show some authority in some sense. But at the 2-2 draw, I think it was what it was supposed to be, a draw regardless. There's nothing to play for at this point. It is what it is. But I think the goals from Cody Gapko and Luis Diaz were beautiful. I gave credit to Martinelli. He had a nice free header. Knowing he was open. It was a nice cross, nice header. Allison didn't even move. Mourinho had a nice free header as well. At the end of the day, I think it was a great game. It showed what every team can do, but like I said, it's at the end of this. It's the last game of the season. There was nothing to play for. The marbles are all done. Liverpool champions. Arsenal was almost guaranteed Champions League position. I think it was more for like pride in a sense, but
Yeah, I don't think this game
it
carried
is
too
what
much
it
weight.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't care much. But I did want to bring up a discussion. Trent Alexander-Arnold didn't start this game. It was Connor Bradley, but he did get subbed off in the second. He did get subbed on in the second half, and he was booed every time he touched the ball. And that's just what I wanted to bring up. I know he was an academy player, an academy kid, made into the first squad, being in the first squad to being a starting 11 player to being a superstar and to being booed. I don't know. I think it depends on the person, on the fans. The fans have every right to boo. That is in their right. As long as they keep it respectful. But I was gonna say, if Pau was here, imagine if it was Saka who was in that position. Would you boo? Would you boo him?
But I think it depends too.
Yeah.
I
What?
think like if Saka were to leave right now, I'm sure there'd be a lot of hatred towards him, right? But if he were to win the Champions League with Arsenal, if he were to give him 2 titles,
I mean, titles that
if
matter. Honestly, to Arsenal, I mean, let's be honest. Champions League, which is something I haven't won, and the Premier League title. Yes, I think those titles are the must for them. If Saka were to have won that,
then
maybe.
then what else do not like what else do you expect from him, but he's helped you win these titles. Like why boo, It's kind of like, hey, thanks for helping us out. Go on. It's not like Trent is going to go play for Arsenal or a rival team. He's going to go play in a whole different league. Sure,
Yeah, but
you're
the
going to
thing
meet up with
is,
him in
yeah, but it's Real Madrid
in
who's
Europe.
beaten Liverpool in 2 finals, who's been basically
But
the rival in the Champions
Real
League.
Madrid is like every kid's dream of playing. It's been engraved in everyone that's like the top tier. That's like the best team. If you want to say you made it, that's where you go. Like that's the best of the best. It doesn't matter like that they just
I know.
lost.
I agree, but I think while I was watching a lot of videos, they were doing like interviewing fans, or like What do you think? Should Trent play these last games? Some were like, yes, they should, to give him the proper send off. But as we saw this game, he didn't get a proper send off. Proper response. He got booed. It's like other people was like, no, um, because we don't want him to get booed. And other people were like, well, the fact is, yes, he has every right to play the last game because he gave us everything he did. He won us 2 Premier League titles, all
What
the FA Cups, Carabao Cups, Champions League. But other people were saying, well, the fact that he ran out his contract and left for free is what I don't respect. I
what
mean,
does
Harry
Randy
Kane
think?
left. What I think.
What do you
Uh,
feel? How do you feel?
well,
Obviously, every fan is different, but what do you
well,
feel? How do you
I'm
feel
not a
about it?
proper I'm not a proper scouser, so I don't. Everyone's talking about being a scouser, but me as a fan of our
Uh-huh.
Trent, I believe he has every right to do whatever he wants with his career. He left on a high. He left giving us
Exactly. Uh-huh.
a Premier League title. He's won everything he did with the club. He's been there for 20 years as a kid to an adult now. He's done everything. I don't fault him for trying to seek another challenge, especially in another league, which is fine. As long as you're not going to, like you mentioned, Arsenal or a rival, I accept that. Um, he has every right to do whatever he wants. If he wants to go on for free or whatever, go ahead, do what you want. You won everything you did. At least you went out on a high, giving us a Premier League title. Great for you. Thank you. Go do what you got to do. Hopefully, you can come back to Liverpool, you know, and maybe retire there as a perfect career send off. No love lost. I respect them, and I say do what you got to do. It's in the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. He's done
Yeah,
everything
and
he's done, and his dream is to be a Ballon d'Or winner. And let's be honest, if you go to Real Madrid, most of them who win the Champions League, you have a more points, more say
it's
in getting a
popularity.
Ballon d'Or. Yes,
Yeah.
uh, contention to win a Ballon d'Or. Uh, Good for him. Like I said, he's
I
done everything. He's won everything. You do what you got to do. You're still young. I thank you. Do what you got to do.
oh, okay. I feel like you're trying to convince yourself.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, then I saw the
No,
rumors of who are trying to go after right back. I'm like, hey, I'm fine with it.
and
But
I think that's the difference. I think the fact that and like even with Harry Kane, you were bringing up Harry Kane. With Harry Kane, we didn't win anything. Obviously, we got to a few finals, but you could tell that he gave us everything. And he actually, you could tell that he stuck around a lot longer than he should have. And you know, the difference is he did go for a fee, and we did get some money back. But I don't think that really, you don't really think about that. People, I think, just use that as an excuse to say this is why I don't like the Trent move, is because he left us without a dime. I don't think about Harry Kane and the money he brought in. It's just the time he was with us, the effort. He didn't badmouth us. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm tired of this club. I wanted to leave." It was all cordial, and the way he left, and him winning a trophy. Like, honestly, when he first left, I was like, "Oh, this motherfucker," right? And I was like, "I
yeah,
don't want to see him win anything ever." But I was actually genuinely happy for him, and I'm glad he won it, and I'm glad he was able to have his moment. Um, and if he comes back, he comes back. There's no ill feelings. There's nothing. There's no grudges. I don't think anyone's really holding against him. And so seeing how Liverpool is treating Trent, and it's like, oh well, he's turning his back, and he's a Judas, and he's going for free. I think it's just an excuse. I think it's just people just are upset that they're leaving Liverpool. He's leaving Liverpool, especially when they're at a high.
yeah.
It's almost like, oh well, even winning is not good enough. So I think,
And I
to
think
me,
it's just like
I
all the
know I'm not
things
supposed
he's
to.
done as well, like those celebrations. Like
That's true.
and I think it was like teasing people in a sense, like, oh, I'm staying. It's like, bro, you knew what my decision was in the beginning of the season, or maybe in January when you had when you're open to discuss with other teams, you basically knew what your decision was. Why are you like sort of teasing people in a way? But
Yeah, I
he can do
mean,
whatever he wants. We won the Premier League title. Thank you. I wish you the best. And the thing is, I even think Carragher said, or Roy Keane said, a lot of great players left Liverpool, and guess what? They've been fine. Yes, Trent has been great offensively, but defensively, no. So we'll find someone who's can maybe fix both boxes, and we'll move on from there. We're still in a great position. I think that'll be a blessing in disguise. So now we don't have to worry about the right back position where, it was Virgil van Dijk and Konate or even Gravenberg always trying to cover the right back position because they knew Trent isn't the best defender. So that'll leave, and that by doing that, that'll leave spaces open. So I think if you have a proper right back who knows defensively, you have a little more relaxed. You can be in your position. And I think the potential is high for us. But Trent Alexander-Arnold, thank you for everything you've done. I wish you the best in Real Madrid.
hey, stop thanking him so
and
much.
that's it.
I feel like you had a lot to get off your chest, Randy.
Well, maybe there's next episode. We'll see. But it is what it is. I just wish Pat was here because I wonder what his opinion would be if Saka were to leave. I mean, you already discussed about Harry Kane, but then again, Harry Kane, like you said, he stayed till he was 30. I mean, that's after 30, basically, we've mentioned it. People are considering you old and retired.
Well, it's not only
So
that.
he gave his good years to
But-
Spurs.
Yeah, but it's not like he wasn't the youngest when he
Yeah.
wasn't as young.
And the thing is, he could have gone to Manchester United because a lot of rumors were about Manchester United going after Harry Kane.
yeah, and
Even
City.
Man City. But he left the country. That sounds bad, but he left the country, went to another league, and that's sort of like a blessing in disguise. At least he doesn't have to face his team and win a trophy in front of them.
Well, we are gonna have to face him next season when we're in the Champions League.
Oh, so you're confirming that Spurs are gonna win. Flip
Waka
it.
waka,
Flip it.
eh, eh. 17th, I don't know how. Spurs are going to Bilbao. We are going to Bilbao, so yes, we will be facing Harry Kane, and who knows, maybe old feelings will come back up, and we will hate you. But till then, we'll still love you, Harry Kane. But
I think that's enough Liverpool Arsenal talk. Let's get into something else.
You mean enough Trent Alexander talk?
Well,
You need some
whatever.
tissues, Randy? You need some tissues? I'll Amazon you some tissues.
Yes, please do. Please do.
You're crying in your Trent jersey. 66.
Oh my god, I gotta get one before he leaves.
So let's continue this conversation about
Europe.
people being mistreated, fans mistreating Trent. What about Man United mistreating their organization, their fans, and their players? What is going on? I
Shit, bro.
think everybody needs to get behind Tottenham so that collectively we beat United and we all laugh at them and we all make things even worse for them, because they've been villains, sort of, So I think we just got to unite and let's all become Spurs fans for a day, right?
Well, honestly, because you
Right?
mentioned that, I sort of want Manchester United to win because I want them
Jesus.
to have their barbecue instead of their parade.
What is that? Why? Like what
kind of BS is that? That is
How
the only
much
reason
money-
why I want to. Come on, bro. That's
how
why
much
I sort
money
of
are
want
you
to
really
see that.
saving though? Like what is you're trying to save
You know how
at all
much?
costs?
You know how much? What are you gonna buy? That frozen burger patties or what? Or are you gonna go that Wagyu beef? What is
Yeah.
it? It's just I just think it's hilarious.
It's kind of I mean it's tradition, like you're what are you doing to your team? Like I feel for the fans sometimes, like that one video with the old the elderly gentleman, he's a season ticket holder and he's being asked to move because they're going to renovate the stadium. He's been there for how many years and he was like, they're not. I've been loyal to this team, and it turns out that they're not loyal to me, and it kind of hits you in the feelings because you're like, damn, like that's true. Like this man has been longer. He's been supporting United longer than most of
We've
the
been
people who
alive.
work for it. Yeah, and for this organization, and they're just tossing him to the side, and it's kind of shitty. And then you see what the ownership is doing. Ruben Emery apparently was buying tickets for the final for the staff members because they weren't giving anything to them, so he's coming out of his pocket,
I mean,
and
and
it's
like I
kind
said,
of
that is class on his end, but the
it is
organization, the owners, it's just, what are you doing? That's just a bad look, bro. I mean, you win a trophy. I think that is throw the checkbook out, celebrate that, and hopefully you can go on keep that momentum going. But we're gonna cancel the parade and have a barbecue. We're gonna do some hot dogs and some fish and chips or something. I think that is a laughing stock compared to where you've been as Manchester United to now having a barbecue. It's just,
exactly.
I think it's a joke. Uh, I don't know. It's not a good look for the owners. I think they've made a lot of wrong calls uh this year, and it's not looking good. Everything is pinching money, pinching pennies, trying to save money, but you're doing it at the expense of your club, your staff. I just think that's a bad look, man.
Yeah,
Honestly, terrible look.
the award dinner that they had, I guess, is being scraped. It's a um tradition they had for a while. That's what I was reading, and some other stuff, and it's it's surprising because you think of when you think of football and you think of European football or English football, Manchester United is like one of the teams that you think of. It's I don't even
I
know
mean, I
what
think they're still
American
like
team you
what.
compare it to, like
Yeah,
what
they're
Chicago
still
Bulls.
like the I think the biggest club worldwide that a lot of people know. It's either between them and Real Madrid. They're basically, even though they
One and
haven't
one,
had
yeah.
success on the field, but they're still worldwide renowned.
It's I feel for them, but I still want to beat them. I want to beat them
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, at least you'll get a parade, right? Or are you
Yeah,
gonna,
we're
are you gonna sell fucking, like cotton candy or something?
yeah, we're
You're
gonna
still
have
doing a parade?
yeah, we're doing a parade.
Okay, I was just making sure. Just making sure. You never know.
And
Europa League cuts costs, I guess.
you
Because
know
if
what's
someone's doing a
what's
barbecue.
what they did for the Europa semi-final when we were up in the Norway in the Arctic Circle. The team actually provided the Spurs fans with scarves. They laid them out on their chair, so when they got to their seats, there was a Tottenham scarf right there waiting for them. And
So they
I
can
mean,
burn to keep warm, right?
yeah, but it's a good gesture. I mean, look at, and I'm not trying to say we're better, but like, look at that gesture from the organization compared to someone telling you like, "Hey, we don't care about you. Like we're having a barbecue within the organization if we win. Like the fans aren't invited. Like what message does that send?
I know. It's those small little details that matter, and it's
It really
just
does.
they go a long way. You
I'm
see that
surprised.
compared to Manchester United, who's had like we're talking about history, but to resort to a barbecue, I think that's just uncalled for, man.
It's
It's
I'm
embarrassing.
surprised there's not a more like fans kind of protesting and kind of being more upset with this issue. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe I'm just not part of
Or
that.
maybe they know they're not going to win the final, so like, it's okay. We're not getting a barbecue or a parade, so fuck it. Leave it as is.
Imagine if we
Maybe they
do win.
gave in. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. Kind of thinking of barbecue.
Spurs
I'm
are
getting
going
hungry,
to,
bro. What do they eat
right?
for a barbecue in England?
Bottle water.
I was thinking, what is it? Sunday ham or something? West Ham?
Oh,
Full
a
ham?
Sunday roast.
Sunday
Ooh,
roast. Yes, there you go.
there's a podcast called Lads Anonymous, and they were talking about food. Actually, some of this actually sounds pretty good. They were saying how like people think that British food or English food is nasty, but they were going over some of the stuff that they eat, and it actually sounds really good.
I do
Yeah, we
follow,
should.
so I'm sure curious. I do want to try beans on toast. I heard that's the rage, but we'll see. That's maybe
I
for
mean,
another
we
episode.
eat beans.
Yeah, but not on toast. We
Yeah,
eat beans and rice.
una arepa, un recalentado. Oh, it's like
Yeah,
beans,
but that's
eggs,
different.
rice.
But that's like refried beans. That's like spread. I do it like an
It's not
arepa.
refried.
I think whatever. I don't know. I'm not Colombian, bro.
That's true.
Parce. Well, that's another episode. That's for Rivals in the Kitchen. But right now we're on the pitch.
Let's see what else. I think that's it.
Go into our predictions, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't gotta go over the Tottenham Crystal Palace game.
Why not? Because it's another loss for your mighty Spurs.
Yeah, come on. You look at our lineup. There was no way. It's embarrassing.
You think Eze's still going to Spurs?
Yeah, he is. They asked him, and he gave us a smile. Like, just you wait and see. I would love to have Eze come over for the Spurs. I think we need some of that talent in the midfield. But we'll see what happens with this final. Hopefully, that's another reason I want to get into this final. Get some money in. Being so low in the league, we're not gonna be making as much. So if we can get to Champions League, then that would be great. And then bring in some players. If players want to play Champions League, then come on in. You guys are telling me. I'll save it for when we win. But you guys are like, oh, why would Ariola want to go play coach for you guys, or why would so and so want to play for you guys? They have Champions League. Well, now they don't, and guess who can? Us. So we'll see. Where are we? Oh yeah, I guess we're running late. All that Trent talk, ran down the clock.
What are you
Randy.
talking about, Trent talk? That was like the first 20 minutes of talking about what PSG and Arsenal, which Pat can edit out because who wants to hear Arsenal talk?
Maybe. All right, we're gonna go straight into predictions.
Let's do it.
All right, where's my phone? Because I think I gotta read.
Don't worry, I
gotta
got
read the message from.
Don't worry, I got
Pat.
everything, bruv. I'm prepared. I'm professional.
He says, "Oh wait, here I have his predictions." He said,
"Yeah, Arsenal 3-2.
Hey bro, good luck on the final. I hope Spurs win." Oh, thanks, Pat.
No.
He said something else. Oh, I'm a Spurs fan too. I just never say it out loud.
Koi.
Yeah, that message was from Pat. I read it word for word.
He says
ready?
Arteta out.
Yeah. So let's start with Friday. Aston Villa hosting the almighty Tottenham Hotspur.
Should we just get into the predictions now, or are you going to hold it off to the end?
I think so. No, let's do predictions and scores, just to catch up on time. Since Pat's not here, I think it'll be a good time to finally throw in the towel. I think this is the week I do it. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1. It's going to be a 1-1 draw at Villa Park.
Heard.
That makes me feel sick.
Come on, maybe you'll actually get a point this time because you're being realistic. You always go for them to get a win, and that hasn't happened.
I know, right? We'll see. I think we might put some players in for preparation for Wednesday, so they can get some game time. So I think we might be able to do a draw. So we'll see how that goes. And then Monday, the 19th, Brighton hosting Liverpool. What's your predictions, Randy?
Woo! We're at Brighton. I'm going to go... You know what? I'm going to go 0-1 for Liverpool.
0-1 Liverpool.
Yes. We're going to pull away at Brighton. Yeah, bro.
Right.
We're just probably going to try to let Salah get that one goal or assist to stat pad, but 0-1 for Liverpool.
0-1. And then we have voted for the
Highlight week of the game.
highlight game of the week is Arsenal hosting Newcastle on Sunday, May 18th. And we'll start off with Pat's predictions. He said Tottenham Hotspur is my favorite. My predictions are Arsenal 3, Newcastle 2. So Arsenal keeping their place in second place. What do you think?
I think you and I got a different message. I could have sworn Pat said Arsenal are going to lose 0-3, but I just think it's going to be a draw at the end of the day. No, I take that back. I think Newcastle's going to win.
Ooh, Newcastle.
Yes. Yes. I'm going to say 1-2 Newcastle.
So, okay. Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1.
Yes.
I thought we were going to be on the same wavelength, but you switched on me last second. I think this is going to be another 2-2 draw. Arsenal and Newcastle taking 1 point from this, making that last game a little bit more important. And I think if they draw, I think that secures. No, it doesn't. Takes it to the last week. Exciting. So yeah,
which is why I
2-2
think
draw.
Arsenal, they're already good at bottling, so why not just bottle second place and get completely out of Champions League? So
Ooh. Imagine.
I can see it happening. Why not? Let's see how Arteta is supposedly their best manager ever.
Right. So let's see some games that might be interesting to watch. The scoreline: Chelsea United. Chelsea. I think Chelsea should have a good opportunity to win this. This might help them secure their Champions League position.
I mean, they're both going to the finals, so I don't know what team you might get.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. And then Forest West Ham would be another game to watch. And then Man City and Bournemouth.
Ooh.
And then after that, last game of the season.
Round robin.
Do you want to do the scores? See where we're at? Or no?
Where are we at? Hold it.
I think I have like 55.
You must be in a fantasy league or something.
75?
But it ain't on this one.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. Well, while Randy looks that up.
Well, the final tally as we speak, as of last week, Pat with 43 points. Your favorite, Randy, with 38. And that's it. We don't have to go to third place. Alan with 25.
I thought I got a point.
Yeah, that's with the point. Wait, no, not yet. What the fuck happened?
Yes,
where are we at?
You see, kid.
Kid. Thank you. You're calling me young. Thank you. I am a kid. Thanks, Grandpa. Where are we at? You got no points. Oh, you only got... No, you got... No, yeah, you got 1 point because Newcastle won. So you're at 26.
You're 26.
Pat got 1 point because he got Newcastle, right? Oh, no, he got 2 points.
He got the...
shit. He got 3, 4. Because it was a draw. He got the right score. And Newcastle won. So that's 40... What? 4? That's 47
I thought we
for
got
Pat.
double the points if we got the highlight game right.
Is it?
So don't I get 2 points?
I don't understand. We've never had... We have to look it up. Pat, edit this.
Look up our own rules. All right, well, let's... With
I got
that,
no
I think
points because I got nothing right.
I think we should end it there.
Yeah, leave it on high. Leave it on a question mark, on an asterisk.
Yeah.
Close it out, Alan?
Yeah, want me to close it out?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Let's do this. Well, that is an episode. Thank you for joining us. We will get that mini league scores for you guys. And remember, next week, the final week of the Premier League, we will be doing a round robin, or what is it called? Fast fire, quick fire round, where all the games of the final week of week 38 will count towards our final tally, and I'll be making my comeback. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you hit that like, that auto download. Visit our Instagram, Rivals on the Pitch. Tell us what team you would like to fight the Gorillas with. What your predictions for the final on May 21st will be, the final Europa Final. Tell us why Spurs will win it. And I think that's it. I'm Alan.
I'm Randy.
Was that Trent leaving?
No, that's a gorilla, bro. He's taking over for Pat's place.
I thought that was you crying because Trent was leaving.
No, you want to hear me crying?
Alright, we'll see you guys next week.
Good luck. Go Man U.